Satyadharma Reflection on May 25th, 2022. Before blessing, clear well. Don't just limit it with disregarding or uninvolved. The disregard is not itself. Disregard from the disregard itself, clear it well, so that it will help through unwinding and releasing truly for others, not just in the way of oppressing on others, thinking that it's extinction, but it's not. Oppressing by stillness and indifference, that's not the blessing, that's not possible to help them through liberation. Uninvolved with disregarding is not it. Don't be limited with just that, because it's gonna be in the way of concentration, stillness, and indifference. It has nothing to do with stillness itself. Disregarding has nothing to do with itself. And don't be limited with just awakening inside or outside. Awakening has nothing to do with itself. It's not about anything within awakening itself. Let's clear it well, let's conclude well. To give significance and meanings to anything whatsoever, it becomes narrow right away. It's being limited right away. It's not absolute. To be limited with certain extent, whether it is disregarding or uninvolved, it's impossible to be limited, even just no. No is not about anything within itself. It's not about anything within no itself, not about anything within the uninvolved itself. This is not just, it is not it, or just uninvolved or disregarding. Don't be limited with just disregarding, child. With this, it will be purification without limits. Clear well for the blessing. Go further than uninvolved itself, so that it will be boundless in blessing. Refine it well in blessing. It's impossible to have traces in purifying samsara. Uninvolved that is there, just go further than that. Don't be limited with just uninvolved, so that it will be truly having no limits, not just stuck with titi. If disregarding is there, go further than that. Don't be limited with just disregarding. Nothing is within disregarding altogether. It's not the disregarding. Move on like this altogether. Let's refine all the limitations continuously. Because the uninvolved can be overlaid by the delusive attachments, even no, even uninvolved, because karmic habits still left over. Therefore, it can overlay all the conclusions. So just be stuck with the uninvolved only. It's not about uninvolvement. Don't be stuck with just no. No is not even no itself. With this, there will be truly no limitations. Boundaries are the limitations to certain extent. Being stuck with just disregarding or uninvolved. This is the frame of the decisive attachment. Let's purify all the conditions right away. Uninvolved is uninvolved with itself. That's the purification. Don't be stuck with disregarding. Don't sink in. Even disregarding is not itself, that's it. It's not about resting somewhere. It turns into purification of emptiness as such. No is not even no itself. No is not even no itself. The brightening is not about anything within itself. It doesn't grasp itself. Let's continue to conclude. Don't be stuck anywhere. Not even in the conclusion itself. Purify even the conclusion itself. And don't be stuck within the reminder itself. Purify the reminder as well. Whatever sentence that is recalled, don't be stuck with it. Purify it at the same time. Any sentence is not it, child. It's not relevant to itself. Whatever sentence that is recalled, uninvolved with it. no significance and meanings in it. Whatever terminologies that is recalled, just purify it right away, uninvolved with the terminologies themselves. Just like uninvolved is not about anything within itself, child. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Let's purify the purification well, so that it will not be about anything within the purification itself. Then it will not be about anything within not purifying anything as well. It's impossible to be limited to certain extent to anything whatsoever while blessing samsara. Otherwise, it's gonna be stuck with just suffering or not, involvement or not. Because to be limited with just uninvolved, then it's not truly uninvolved. To be stuck with just disregarding, it will be not truly disregarding. True disregarding has nothing to do with itself. Brighten out for mindfulness, concentration, for contemplation, special insights. Well with that. Stillness is not it. It's not about anything within stillness itself. Nothing is within the indifference itself. Brighten out for the equanimity well. Nothing is within the awakening itself. Brighten out for the awakening well with it. Purify the awakening simultaneously. No is not no itself. No is not even the no itself. Nothing is within no itself. Then it will be truly no, not it. To attempt to reject in this way and that way, then there will be the delusion to yes with the no itself. If no, even within the no itself, then it will be truly disregarding, truly no. True disregarding has no meaning in itself. It's beyond all types of terminologies. Diligently make a conclusion with the essence, uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself constantly, otherwise one will not release out from the concentration within stillness or indifference in such attributes. These are the conditions that is sinking in itself, is a kind of samudaya, attributes of samudaya. Conditions of samudaya. Disregard is not itself, well with it. Don't use disregarding as a decorative plant to maintain it, to sustain it. Dwell within disregarding as such. It's not the disregarding itself, let's unlock it well. uninvolved with the awakening itself, uninvolved with the brightening itself. Uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself. This will be beyond liking or disliking. Yes or no? Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. This is that which is not relevant to itself, whether it is wisdom or concentration or whatever. So well with this essence, so that there is sharpness to clear with the deluded viewpoint of samsara, which is all the delusion to circle within opinions and meanings. This is samsara of Titi. And involved within the involvement itself right away. What or ordination means letting go. Letting go of the letting go itself is not about anything within the letting go itself. What ordination means giving up, means renouncing. It's not about at any tempo. So interpret the word ordination well. Letting go of the letting go itself, child. It's not about anything within the letting go itself. That is true ordination. It's not about at any tempo or anywhere. If talking about location is not true ordination, this is assumed ordination. It's dominated oneself already. Disregard, even from the disregard itself, is a true ordination. Letting go of the letting go itself, non-attached to non-attachment itself, this is every day as such. There is no need to find any upacha anywhere. The one who guide for the ordination, there is no need to search for them. There's nothing to do with robe or that kind of superficial thing. No, it's not even know itself. Nothing is within the letting go itself. Letting go of the letting go itself, then it will be true letting go. Don't use letting go as sati. Without letting go of the letting go itself, it's become a path of the samuttai, a path of practice. This is samuttai of a path. Without letting go of the letting go itself, it's become a path. Trying to let go on and on, it is samsara. samsara of the path.
ไม่ก็ไม่ใช่ไม่เอง
No is not even no itself,
ไม่เอาไม่
child.
ไปไม่
This is not to use no to no with anything, to
ไม่ใช่
reject
ตัว
anything.
ไม่ใช่เองไม่ใช่ตัวไม่ใช่
No is not
เอง
even no itself.
ไม่ใช่เอาไม่ใช่ไปไม่ใช่
Don't use
เอาไม่ใช่ไปไม่ใช่
no
มันจะกลายเป็นวิถี
to
มรรค
become a rejection because it's going to become a path. Even noble path, it becomes samutai in
ดู
itself.
ดีนะคอยละคอย
It
สละ
looks
คอย
good,
ปล่อยคอย
but
วางคอยปลดคอยปลง
to let go, to
คอย
put
ช่าง
down,
คอยแล้วไปมันดูดีนะ
to
แต่
let
มันจะ
it
เป็น
be
วิถีอยู่
bygone. However, this is still a path.
มันไม่ละตัว
It
ละ
looks
เอง
good, but it doesn't let go of the let go itself.
ไม่ก็ไม่ใช่ไม่เองเลยอย่างเนี้ยลูก
Disregard
โอเค
is not
ไม่ได้
itself.
เอาไม่ไปไม่
This is
อะไร
okay because
แล้วไม่
it's
ก็ไม่
not
ได้แค่
used
ไม่ด้วย
to disregard anything. It's not stuck with itself.
มัวแต่แค่เดี๋ยวก็เหมือนเทว
To
ทั
be
ตให้ลูก
limited
หลา
is
น
gonna be like
นั่งแค่
Devadatta.
แล้วก็หามไปสาพุทธะจะดินสูบยากรว่าต่อไปเธอจะโดนแผ่นดินสูบไม่ยอมลงดินเลยนั่งแค่นอนแค่ยืนแค่ขับขาบนแค่
This is like a Devadatta story,
ไม่ได้
historical,
ไปขอเข้ามาพุทธองค์และฤาษีหางแค่กันใกล้ถึงเชตวันมหาวิหาร
regarding when
เห็
he
นหน
was
องน้ำหิวน้ำ
destined
ลงไปเลยห้ามไม่
to
ฟัง
be sucked by the earth. He didn't want to touch the earth. However, he was destined as such. But at the moment he was sucked into the earth, he also
ไม่ก็ไม่ใช่แค่ไม่
prayed for the Buddha.
ไม่ก็
Be
ไม่ใช่ไม่
humble
เอง
with
เลย
the Buddhas.
ไม่ก็
However,
ไม่ใช่อะไร
don't
นี่
sink
ไม่เอง
in.
เลยลูก
It's not disregard itself. Don't be limited with just disregarding.
แค่ไม่เกี่ยว
Don't be limited with just uninvolved itself. Uninvolved within the uninvolved itself.
อย่าไปคอยไม่เกี่ยวกับอะไร
Don't be attempting to uninvolve with anything. Attempting to uninvolve with anything is will create exhaustion to oneself. Huh?
อย่าไปแค่ไม่ลูกไม่ไม่กระทั่งไม่เอง
Don't be limited with just disregarding. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Discard itself. Don't let it become a path. Use that which has nothing to do with disregarding only. To use it in this way and that way, it's become karmic difficulties that will bounce back to oneself. Don't use the mind in whatever ways. It will become the bounce back of karmic difficulties greatly. Huh? Don't be limited with just disregarding. Disregarding is not itself. Then it will be through disregarding that has no traces of disregarding. That is not just in a thought. That is not just an opinion of disregarding. With this, it will help end for samsara in the way that is graciously. Not just being end for the sake of ending. Ending is not relevant to itself, then it will be true ending. The ending that has nothing within itself, no significance and meanings in itself.
ไม่เกี่ยวตัวไม่เกี่ยวเอง
Involved within the involvement itself,
แค่นิ่งแค่เฉยอยู่อมพนำอยู่
sitting in stillness, indifference. After a while, you will just awaken out in the restless way. No is not even the no itself, child. This will purify the sinking in, the attempt to sink in oneself. If not sinking, then it's become striving and restless, back and forth between that. So disregard even from the disregard itself. No is not even no itself, child. No is not even the no itself.
จะได้ไม่ใช่อะไรแช่อะไร
This will not be about anything, sinking in anything, sinking in stillness, indifference, ordinariness, feelings, emotions, this and that.
สมุทัยภาวะ
This is the condition of samutai.
ในขยันสรุปแช่
Not diligently making a conclusion. It will make oneself drowned in something within stillness or whatever. This is like clinging to the anicca on and on, always giving significance and meanings within the mind, within emotions and feelings, within thoughts and recalls, always restless with samutai, being obsessed with significance and meanings and involvements, restlessly as such, on and on. Disregard even from the disregard itself, so that we have nothing to do with the body or the mind or even the uninvolved itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself continuously, child. This will cut off the circle of the attempt to dwell within state of mind and Dhamma. There is just a round of a circle without cutting it, always significance and meanings and involvement on and on. This is not having any cutting within itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself. This is not about disregarding from something, because that is still a path, still delusion and delusive attachments of a path. To help end for samsara, it has to be like this. To be much is impossible with anything. Even disregarding is not itself. Even disregarding is uninvolved with itself, child. Disregard within itself in the way that it is not disregarding itself. go ahead constantly.
ใหม่มันก็ทั้งใหม่เอง
Disregard even from the disregard itself. More often, this will cut off all the restlessness back and forth automatically.
ใหม่มันก็ทั้งใหม่เองเรื่อยๆ
Disregard even from the disregard itself constantly. It will purify all the familiarity and habits within the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. The cut off will happen on its own. More often, don't be obsessed with significance and meanings and involvement within the body and the mind only. Disregard even from the disregard itself simultaneously. Ceasing the circle of restlessness, of the whirlpool, of the arising and ceasing within thoughts, recalls, emotions and feelings. Disregard even from the disregard itself indicates that the cutting is within itself, self-cutting. The stillness is not it, it's sinking in itself. There is no such thing as stillness that exists. This is oppression. This is sunken state. What is it within stillness or not? Disregard even from the disregard itself. The disregard that is not about anything within itself. Disregard from itself. More constantly, this is the reminder that cuts through itself, that purifies itself. Otherwise, there will be just the cycle of samsara of feelings, emotions, thinking, recalling. This is the cycle of karmic difficulties, mental difficulties. Disregard even from the disregard itself frequently. Cut through the cutting itself. There is no need to cut anything to be exhausted with it. There is no need to be deludedly disregarding to create exhaustion in itself. To be engrossed with no like this, no like that. This is no to the no itself is still a path that is being so exhausting. No to the no itself. Disregard from the disregard itself. Use that which is not the mind simultaneously with everything. Don't use the mind with it. Otherwise, there will be karma bounce back to oneself. Mental karma will bounce back to oneself as a retribution. To be obsessed to use thoughts, recalls, emotions and feelings, they will bounce back to oneself, becoming karmic retributions of the mind. So use that which is not about anything, uninvolved with disregarding simultaneously altogether, so that it will be extinction to extinction, emptiness to emptiness, purifying altogether simultaneously. To use knowing, it will bounce back to the knowing itself. To use seeing itself, it will be pressuring within the seeing and delusion within the seeing itself. No is not even the no itself. Then it will be in a way that is not about anything within anything altogether. That is the purification of the emptiness and extinction. We cannot keep the faith. It's just a parasite, always clinging, only clinging, searching for somewhere to cling on. Disregard from itself, child. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Cut through the cutting itself. Cut through the cutter itself. Seize the seize itself. Don't be obsessed with faith and disfaith. This is a parasite. It's impossible to keep it. It's a heavy thing. Any tree that has such a plant, it will be dead. The faith in the way with deluded viewpoint, deludedly thinking that it's yes or no, believing or not, this cannot be kept. It's a heavy thing. The more you have it, the more heavy it will be. Being deludedly having yes and no, like or dislike, believing or not. This is the delusion that is dominated. Delusion dominates habits inside knowing. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. So that it will not be about anything within yes or no, believing in anything or not, liking or disliking. This is Tithi. This is the circling tithi.
อะไรนี่ใช่ไม่ใช่
Something within yes or no, believing or not, liking or disliking. This is the circling tithi. This is samsara of tithi.
เลี้ยงเอาไว้ไม่ได้นะ
It cannot be kept, huh?
ตัวใช่ไม่ใช่เนี่ยเลี้ยงไว้ไม่ได้
This kind of yes and no cannot be kept. Is everything.
ตัวชอบไม่ชอบนี่ก็เลี้ยงไว้ไม่ได้นะ
As well as liking and disliking cannot be kept. Is a burden.